most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and I will probably never get used to the timing on the mute and unmute thing that it does now with StreamYard. So excuse me for possibly repeating the first two words there. With me, not as usual, but as usual as of late, is Pip's Piano Tips. We're talking about the man with the hands. Pip, how you doing, brother? How was the weekend for you?
I'm doing good. Shit, I'm getting used to it apparently too. Fuck. It was a good crazy night. Had a lot of good fights that we watched, and had to start watching in Portuguese for the prelims, but I figured it out for the main card. So anybody from Paramount, if you're listening, just had to go with that. But overall, I mean, it was a good night. I mean, even on our prediction show, I mean, I got 9 out of 13 correct, so not too mad about that. I don't know how you did, but I'm doing good. How about you?
I did pretty good, man. I got more right than wrong. I think when I was checking on the numbers, I forget where I landed final. But when we were 8 fights in and I was 7 for 8. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'll take it. My dog of the week and my other dog pick crashed while other dogs cashed. So it wasn't the best night in the banks. We're definitely down units. I got to do the math. I'll do that during your breakdown. But I digress, man. It was a fun night of fights, whether we were up or down units. I'll tell you that much. In the main event, we had Brandon Moreno and Loner Kavanagh coming in there, and Kavanagh pulled off the upset, right? Like, he was fucking fantastic. Nobody saw it coming. It was a bit shocking, if I'm being honest. And I did think that Moreno won certain rounds. I'll get into it, but look, Kavanagh used elite level footwork in there. He had very sharp counters. The way in which he backed out of range, because we know that Moreno likes to pump that jab, really just feint it out there, and even connect it sometimes. And then as he starts connecting, he'll just switch to that wily kind of looping overhand hook. And I mean, Loner did such a good job just backing right out of range, letting him miss, and then landing his own left hook to check him. He stuffed the pressure, and he landed really clean across most of the exchanges. Moreno pushed back hard in the middle rounds. Like I said, I think it was round 3 and round 4 that I scored for Moreno. And that's only because in round 3, I feel like he outlanded him, not on the scorecards and significant strikes. I get that. But I thought he was landing the bigger strikes. And significant strikes, as we know, is all a point of perception, right? And in round 4, it's hard not to give him the round, even though Loner may have landed the harder shots. He didn't land a ton of them. And he got controlled for like 3.5, maybe 4 minutes of that round up against the cage. So the clinch work and grappling attempts really, really paid dividends for Moreno in those kind of latter rounds. But then round 5, we're right back at it. It's kind of back and forth exchanges. Moreno's leaning a little bit too much on the clinch work in this one. And I mean, Kavanagh pulled it off. Like the young guy proves that maybe, just maybe, Pip, the best base for MMA, or for UFC for that matter, is getting beat by Charles Energy Johnson. Like, can we just call a spade here, bro? Like, after you get beat by Charles Johnson, you go on a title run, I guess.
It seems to happen. It seems to happen that way. But I mean, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, Loner Kavanagh just shocked the world Saturday night, and the fact that he won by this, unanimous decision was almost more impressive than getting Moreno out early, like in the first or second round. I mean, 3 weeks notice and at elevation. I mean, this was very impressive. Started out really good for Kavanagh. Moreno was very heavy on that lead leg. Kavanagh was able to capitalize on that, and you could see the bruising in the welt early on Moreno's lead leg. Moreno was throwing a lot of wild shots, especially firing off that lead hook. And he was dropping kind of the other hand when he would engage in. I mean, Kavanagh had a nasty right hook counter. And that was pretty much the main story of this fight. I mean, conditions the leg and was able to bring them up, high a few times, even cut Moreno above the eye. Moreno had some good head movement and some defense, which kind of helped him avoid some of those big shots. But, I mean, he still got busted up. He had a lot of success just, being explosive and landed some heavy overhands. Then Moreno had to kind of completely change that game plan, come out very wrestling heavy, as you said, kind of in that after the third round, pushing Kavanagh against the cage, just trying to hold him there. And Kavanagh even landed some good elbows off the breaks there. Had some really good teep kicks up the middle, just effectively keeping the space and measuring that distance, especially going into the fifth round. He was very explosive, able to rush in, land some shots, some nice hooks and uppercuts, and then just immediately back out of range. He stayed very composed, and the cardio is what worried me the most. But, I mean, Kavanagh showed that he was, he stayed composed, he stayed fresh. I mean, this is a version of Kavanagh that could be a real problem. Leaps and bounds of improvements from like you mentioned before, with that Charles Johnson fight. I mean, he was quick, had the speed advantage, just slip out of range to avoid, Brandon's biggest shots there. Good counters, some nasty leg kicks. I mean, Kavanagh is a beast. I did not expect that type of performance whatsoever, and I'm very excited to see him come back. But, as far for what's next for these guys, are we against maybe seeing a Charles Johnson Kavanagh too? I know he's got to, move up the rankings a little bit, and Charles Johnson's down there, but, even give my boy Energy another shot back up there. It could be a winnable fight, but I definitely think that Kavanagh has improved quite a bit. What are you thinking on that?
Man, look, I feel like the thing I've heard most after this fight is Moreno washed? And I don't know that he's washed. I just think maybe he could stand to change camps, right? The general Saif Saud, I don't know that he's doing the best job with him. And there are other camps that could probably do a little bit better. As far as for what's next for Kavanagh, I've got three names, right? Like, if Tatsuro Taira goes out there and win or lose, I think he's just a great prospect for him to fight, right? Like that'd be a solid fight. Trajectory-wise, it'd line up very, very well as well, with him having a fight coming up in the coming months. And then another one would be Amir Albazi. Mm-hmm. Is he matched up with anybody right now?
Not that I know of, and that was one of my second picks. I had two names for Kavanagh, and Amir Albazi was definitely on that list as well.
Yeah, I think Amir Albazi would be a fun stylistic matchup for him, and it would also test him in a lot of different ways, right?
100%.
In the next bout, we had Marlon Chito Vera coming in against Dr. David Martinez, and man, was this one a fun one?
Yes, indeed.
Before I give you the breakdown, I got to tell you, Pip, this is probably the worst I've ever done on picks as far as betting. I went 0 for whatever the fuck I bet. I think 5.9 units, just out the window. We're only down 2.9 on the year. I think, let me look. I'll tell you the exact number. 2.907 on the year. So easy comeback. Basically, I need to hit one fucking bet this week, and that'll happen. So, Pip, tell the people, what were your thoughts on Dr. David Martinez coming out there with a hot, heated scalpel and dissecting Chito Vera?
It was a great performance from David Martinez. One of many kind of hard-fought decisions, especially going into the third round on this card. But nonetheless, he definitely took rounds 1 and 2 pretty decisively. 10 straight wins for David the Dr. Martinez. Very explosive, and he's got heart as well. He showed that he could weather some storms, especially in that third round, and still exchange. He had some solid low kicks from Martinez to start the round. Very good footwork as well, just very elusive. It was in and out and showed Vera had the speed disadvantage very early. Landed good takedowns where he caught Vera's kick and was able to sweep him. Was able to mix up the takedowns with the striking very well as well. His feints were very good for his style, kind of very explosive, and would kind of twitch with his body, had Vera reacting very heavy. Though it was, kind of competitive, I put a side bet on with Sterling. So if anybody in the chat could just, send Sterling a DM after the show, let him know that he needs to pay his dues. But when I was watching it, definitely got a little too close for comfort going into that third round. But because David slowed down quite a bit. But he was still able to move around, avoid some of those big shots. But Vera did a good job cutting him off and pressure David against the fence. That was more effective in the third round there. But that download stage of Cheetah is just it's kind of a problem. He really needs to engage more, especially now that he's fighting in these 3-rounders. I mean, Cheeto was looking good in the third, but I mean, it was kind of a little too late. David just stayed on the bike, kept moving. The output slowed down quite a bit, and kind of took that third round off. And Vera was having success, just like I said, a little too late. And David was able to edge it out. So I'm thinking maybe we could do a David Martinez versus a Mario Bautista, or maybe even a Davidson Figueiredo as far for what's next. But what did you think of the whole performance?
Yeah, I mean, great breakdown, bro. I thought round one, Martinez looked really aggressive early on. He looked like the speed differential was something to behold, my guy. Like, genuinely, the fast switch motions. Again, I think I made this analogy last week when we were talking about, this fight. He kind of moves around like the UPS guy from the Mad TV skits. Like, and I'm not mad at it, but it's not sustainable. And we saw that in the third round, right? Like, he did start to tire out a little bit in the third round. It showed. And again, like going back to round two, Vera started to find a little bit of rhythm. He got heavier with the leg kicks, and just overall kicks in general, body kicks, teeps. But it wasn't enough. Like, it was too few and far between. And I said this last week when we talked about it. I was afraid that with that slow start that Chito Vera comes in with, this was going to end up paying dividends for somebody like Dr. David Martinez, who does start very fast. If anything, he slows later in the fight. So I knew Chito was probably going to be playing catch up, and that if he was not able to secure a knockout or a finish, for that matter, in the late rounds, he was going to lose this fight. And that's exactly what played out on the TV, folks. He was playing from behind. It showed. He showed a lot more urgency in round three. I thought possibly he won round three, right? And with all due respect, again, it was just too little too late for him. If he would have done that earlier, he probably could have won this fight. But Dr. David Martinez is a different animal, man. And like I said, he came in there with a bit of a scalpel. I'd like to see Dr. David Martinez in there against Mario Bautista. I think that'd be a fun fight.
Yeah, I enjoy that. My only comment back, and I even said that as well. I mean, my only comment back is that we just saw Bautista just dominate Oliveira in their last fight. So I'm almost thinking that maybe he needs more of a step up and jump. But either way, I mean, I really like that fight between those guys.
Let's see. Chris Jimbo's old lady Pip. Don't feel bad. I only picked 5 of 13 fights. It happens to the best of us, man.
That's mom right there. She did not do well.
It happens to the best of us, Mom. Look, I've been there. And I watch these fights probably a lot more often than you. And I've been there. So
you'd be surprised.
Give yourself a pat on the back. Take a deep breath. You're going to get them all right next time. Back in the saddle we go. Speaking of back in the saddle, my guy Pip. Oh, brother. Oh, me, oh, my. Daniel Zellhuber versus King Green. I mean, at one point in the show last week, I think I said, youth can come into play and youth cannot come into play. I think when it's not going to come into play is in the main event in Brandon Moreno versus Loner Kavanaugh. When it is going to come into play is going to be King Green versus a guy that is 13 years his fucking younger. It was tough, bro. This was not even competitive. Daniel Zellhuber went out there and got the break speed off of him. He got beat up. And make no mistake about it, our guy, King Bobby Green, whatever the fuck you want to call him, he did not have any concern nor respect for what Daniel Zellhuber had to offer. He had his hands not at his chest, at his hips, bro. He's not even blocking the body. He's like, let's go. Just slicing in, bro. Making it look like I would say he was slicing through the guard of Zellhuber, but that would be false, Pip, because the guard was non-existent. If you watch that fight, he was making it seem like there was no hands up. If you watch that fight and you told me that Zellhuber's hands were behind his back the whole time, I'd be like, yeah, pretty much, because he wasn't blocking anything coming his way. It just, again, it wasn't close. And it went the opposite of the way in which we thought it was going to go. It was 100-17, Pip, on total strikes landed. That is silly. Okay, it was 86-17 on significant strikes landed. So hey, make no mistake about it. When the kid was landing, he was landing heat. It wasn't happening super often. Yeah, I mean the I think it was a right hook that landed that just you saw it just rearrange the face of Zellhuber for a brief moment on the super slow-mo. It was fantastic to watch. I love seeing these old guys come back. I'm an old guy myself, bro. And it felt good. It felt good to, even though I was wrong on this one, it felt good to see the kid get the win. As far as for what's next for him, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like there's so many names we can go with, but if I'm being honest, this man's been on the shelf for too long. And I'll see you at the top, Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler versus King Green. Sign me up. There will be blood. Hip, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, I mean that was his call out too for the White House, I believe, for Michael Chandler, and I'm not mad at it. But I mean, yeah, King Green. I mean, he's still knocking out these young bucks. I mean, that was a vintage performance from King Green, and I feel like I gotta call him King Green after a performance like that. At 39 years old, 53 fights, and just still doing King Green things. Found that right hand, like you said, early and often. Hurt him bad with it near the end of the second. It landed again shortly after for good measure and was able to land big shots on Zellhuber. Went down. Bobby was just pressing the D-pad. I mean, throwing taunts left and right. Almost seemed like the taunts were starting to be effective. Zellhuber was would get Green against the cage and then just go pretty stiff. Would eat a lot of those straight shots and would allow Green to escape and circle out. Just looking to brawl instead of finding his range. It seemed like the mind games were definitely working. Green did a good job with his offensive wrestling as well. I mean, we don't usually see that, but had some beautiful step back counters. Would just stay out of range and just landed some nasty counters with that as well. I mean, throwing leg kicks, landed some nasty 1-2s, and then out of range again. I mean, slick head movement. And Daniel was just looking for a big shot, head hunting, and never really landed much. Bobby caught him with a lot of the kicks that he was able to counter with him. When Zellhuber would throw kicks as well, Bobby was able to counter on those. Just kind of shut down Zellhuber's game plan completely. I mean, like I said, looking like an old school Bobby Green in there. And I know Michael Johnson has kind of win one or lose one. I think he's fighting against Drew Dober as well. But I think win or lose on that fight, we could do King Green on that one for what's next if he doesn't get that Michael Chandler call out.
The other two, I love that. The other two names that I had down are Hinato Money Moicano and Benny St. Denis. I think Benoit St. Denis would be a fun matchup against King Green. Yeah, I don't know that it makes sense rankings-wise, but man, sign me up.
Hey, give him a chance. Just beat a prospect like that, nasty fashion, run it.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Like the way he was cutting off the kicks, the way that he was landing every time Zellhuber would attempt a kick was just, I mean, he shut him off. He never gave him a chance to really get started out there, and it's always great to see, man. Things that weren't great to see when you bet on Kevin Borjas is the performance of Imanol Rodriguez. Pip, my goodness, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, what a finish from Rodriguez. I mean, we usually don't see flyweights with this kind of power, and it was just a fantastic finish, a fantastic fight up until it ended. Beautiful adjustment from Rodriguez. I mean, he got clipped with a few big shots from Kevin early. And at a few times, I thought he was going to win the fight. But, I mean, he stayed composed. He got the takedown, took 3 minutes of control time, just landed some nasty elbows as well. And I almost got flashbacks to, like, the Oliveira-Dustin fight. I mean, he was just covering his mouth, grinding elbows down on his face. And the way it ended, off of that first round, it was just an intense stare-off. And I said, someone's going to sleep here. I mean, then we just came out brawling in the second round. Rodriguez, did a good job in the second round where he shot and attempted to take down, but he didn't waste energy on it. I mean, it was just enough to keep the threat alive. I had Kevin on the fence, clipped him right behind the ear and kind of just had that delayed reaction. The brain said, I've seen enough. We got to shut this off. Rodriguez just unleashed punishment, got him out of there. I mean, it was a very impressive performance from Emmanuel Rodriguez. Definitely a guy to keep an eye on. But it was a great match. I mean, even that delayed shot kind of reminded me of who was it? Shane Burgos and Edson Barboza. I mean, it was a nasty.
He shut him down like a second later.
Mm-hmm. What did you think of that one? That was amazing.
It was nasty, bro. That was one of the ones I got to watch in the sports bar. So it was a nice live crowd. I'm like 90% sure that one of the dudes, like 5 people to my right, knew Imanol because he was reacting very loudly and very excitedly. Either that or he had a lot of money on him. Either way, man, Imanol impressed the fudge out of me in this one, bro. Like total strikes 55-24, significant strikes 46-22, and where it gets a little bit crazy is the knockdowns, right? Kevin Borjas actually had 2 knockdowns in comparison to the one of Imanol. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, Pip, but I almost felt like in that second round at some point in time, maybe like a minute and a half, 2 minutes in, Kevin kind of quit on himself out there. And you could see it. Maybe it was the cardio was an issue. Maybe that altitude was getting to him. But either way, something got to him. And he really started to slow down, lose steam. And Imanol was like a shark in the water. He smelled blood, and he jumped right on top of that opportunity. I mean, I was blown away by the kid. I thought he looked really, really good out there doing everything he did. And I'd like to see him keep on getting that kind of rub. I'd like to see him fight somebody like Ronaldo Rodriguez. Have they fought already? No.
Yeah, I'm definitely not mad at it.
Oh no, he has a win over him 3 fights ago.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad maybe as an Ode Osborne for Emmanuel Rodriguez.
Ode I like. Oh no, Kevin's fought him. No, Imanol has not fought him.
Okay.
So that'd still be a fun fight. Ode Osborne, funny enough, Ronaldo Rodriguez actually has a win over recently.
Okay.
It's all connected, Bill.
It works out well. Well, then the MMA math would work out well, doesn't it?
I think so. Speaking of things, I think I skipped over a flyweight fight between Edgar Chairez and Felipe Bunez, or as our guy Sterling likes to call him, Flippy Buns. Flippy Buns. Yeah, I mean, Edgar Chairez, he looked pretty good in this. I thought Flippy Buns was not going to do great, but he actually did better than I thought. He had pretty strong top pressure in the opening round. Short elbows, didn't do a ton of damage other than those elbows. And then Chairez really flipped the momentum going into the second round, had higher volume of striking, better scrambles onto the top, and a very active guard that worked to rack up damage and control time for him. In closing, I'll say Chairez late activity overall pretty much stole the fight. It did look like Felipe Bunez was gonna ruin my ratio early on, but it didn't happen. I was whelmed. I wouldn't tell you that I was like overwhelmingly impressed with Edgar Chairez in here. I thought he'd go out there and do worse things to Felipe Buns, but he did not. So I don't know. It was a whelming fight, right? Like Felipe Buns landed 113 strikes to the 69 of Edgar Chairez, but only 54 of them were significant strikes compared to the 66 of Chairez. So, I mean, like, realistically, if we're scoring this fight correctly, the right man got the nod. One man was just trying to control and grapple and kind of lay and pray, and the other man stole it out from underneath him by actually following the mission here and trying to do more damage in the fight. So, hats off to Edgar Chairez. I'll let you do your breakdown and give your names, and I've got a few on the tip of my tongue.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Chairez just, ended up another kind of hard-fought decision as well over Felipe Bunez. Very competitive fight. Felipe started off strong, was able to kind of take us back, had a good body lock as well, and was really creative with that, kind of landed some 12-6 elbows to the shoulders, good shots to the head as well. And Edgar was smart. I mean, waited to the last 16 seconds to kind of just slam him on the ground without risk of, getting choked out. Edgar edged out, round in the second round as well, and just came out to an all-out war, more of a brawl in the third round, I thought. Edgar landed some nasty body shot combinations. We just saw that's just how he should have came out more in the second as well. I thought he should have kind of had a little bit more pace in that second round. Heavy pressure as well from some good hooks and jabs that hurt Felipe a few times and pushing forward. But it kind of seemed like it was getting a little discouraging. I mean, Edgar was landing some serious shots, hit this dude with everything he has, and Felipe just stood very tall and kind of put his arms up and said, just keep on coming. But overall, I think Edgar should have came out a little bit more aggressive in that second round. He almost did kind of take his foot off the gas a little bit. So it made the second round, I thought, a little bit more competitive than what it needed to. But overall, I mean, it was a decent fight. Still a few things that they need to work on, but I would love to see an Edgar Chairez maybe against Matt Schnell. But what are some of the names you got on your tongue?
Let's see. I was thinking Ramazan Timurev or Timarov or Tim Elliott. I think would make a lot of sense. I think Tim Elliott would be a very, very fun fight. Tim
Elliott would be fun. Shot at the top 15 too. I think he's ranked, isn't he?
I think he's right outside the top 15 now, but he might be ranked. He's 16 on Tapology.
Okay.
I'll have to check UFC rankings. With that being said, we move into bantamweight to talk about Santiago Luna and Angel Pacheco. I'll let you take the lead on this one, Pip.
Yeah, Santiago, I mean, had a dominant performance, to say the least. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it ended up being a mismatch. Santiago's still undefeated at 8-0. Luna just outclassed Pacheco in this match. Pacheco had some success with jabs and maybe some armbar attempts, but other than that, I mean, completely outmatched. I mean, Luna rocked Pacheco multiple times, 100% on his takedown attempts. I mean, it was just a great display of MMA all around. I mean, great body kicks, sharp combinations, good takedowns. Actually, some slick counters as well. I mean, we would lead out of range as Pacheco would throw that left hand. Then Luna would come right over the top with a good counter. Even had some good step-back counters as well. Good pressure most of the fight. Was able to hurt Pacheco up against the fence multiple times. I mean, good head movement to deal with the jab, which is really the only area that Pacheco was having success. I mean, had some good knees in the clinch as well. And credit to Pacheco. I mean, he somehow survived the onslaught that showed a ton of heart in there, took some damage. But I think Santiago Luna could be a real problem. So I'm thinking maybe you could put him in there with a Damon Blackshear. If I have to match make for Pacheco, I mean, let's go low with a Simon Oliveira or something like that. But
yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. I mean, Santiago Luna was dominant from the very start. Like, he took a clear unanimous decision here, make no mistake about it. And across all 3 rounds, his technical boxing really showed out and showed up. He had crisp footwork, stiff jab that he used early and often, and very sharp counters that he utilized to dictate the range. He picked Pacheco apart while avoiding wild springs and clinch attempts. Pacheco was trying to stay on him like white on rice, but he was just very unsuccessful across the duration of the fight. He did try and push the early pressure, but he just couldn't seem to close the distance consistently, as Luna's footwork just proved to be too much for him to handle. Luna has very clean striking and almost unfair distance control for how young he is in his tenure. And out there on Saturday, he put on a masterclass in outpointing without taking much damage. Very impressive showing for a very impressive rising prospect. I'd like to see him kind of get pole vaulted up there against like Fareed Basharat. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
yeah, that's what two undefeated guys coming against each other. That'll sell. That'll sell. Take my money on that one.
Someone's O's got to go. Yeah, I thought that was a really fun fight, man. Really, really good showing for the kid. Oh, that's a good shout from Grimy. Shout out Grimy in the chat. Ricky Simone. That'd be a fun banger of a fight.
I like that, Grimy. I like that.
Yeah, sign me up for that one as well, man. In the next one, we had a middleweight bout between Ryan Gandra and Jose Medina. Not much to talk about. It was 41 whole seconds. Ryan Gandra landed 14 strikes. Jose Medina landed 0. That is right, folks. You heard that correctly. 0 strikes. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, I hope you pick the under on strikes on whatever you were betting. Yeah, I mean, he just got barraged, and it was tough, right? Like, not a whole lot he could do. He came in there like fireworks, literally ignited at both ends, and it was bad. As he came in like fireworks, Gandra timed a perfect counter and just dropped him, bro, like a sack of potatoes. So, you run in with your hands down, throwing crazy shots, you end up getting dropped by an even crazier shot. So, Pip, did anything surprise you about this fight other than how damn fast it went?
Oh, I mean, it was quick. I enjoyed every second of it. But I mean, yeah, you took most of my breakdown with the stats because there wasn't really much to talk about. I mean, Gandra, he just made quick work of Jose Medina. Just swarmed him up against the fence, landed a nasty knee up the middle. Jose actually had some good defense on the hooks. But when the uppercut started coming, I mean, that's when he folded. I mean, Ryan just unloaded everything. Took him 41 seconds, like you said. I mean, this is his 6th first round finish. 14 total strikes to land, and that's all he needed. There wasn't much of a breakdown to this. I mean, he just swarmed him and got him out of there quick. If I'm looking for what's next for this guy, I mean, I would love to see Ryan Gandra versus maybe a power bar and Mark Andre. I think that could be a really fun fight.
I'm not mad at that. I'm also not mad at what Grimy recommended here. Gandra versus Marco Tulio. That'd be a very fun fight. Sign me up for that. I think that's going to be my name. Stealing that one. In the next one, we had a women's bantamweight bout between Eileen Perez. And it's funny because I made the joke and called her Shrek a handful of weeks ago on the show with Pip. And I just realized on Saturday that her nickname is Fiona, which is kind of crazy.
I did not know that was her nickname. That is kind of wild.
Low-key wild, considering I didn't know that. I made that joke. So, yeah, we had Eileen Perez coming in against Macy Chasson. And Pip, I'll let you take the lead on this one. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, Eileen Perez, I mean, another kind of hard-fought decision. A good job pressuring Macy. I mean, taking away that reach advantage, just unrelentless with the takedowns. Was able to take her down a few times and keep her there. I mean, good scrambles as Macy was looking for the submission, but ultimately she was able to have really good control. Even landed some nice shots from the top. One thing I will say is fuck the ref. I mean, honestly, he got her down, landed some shots to the body. 30 seconds in, I mean, the ref goes, you got to do more than that. It stands him up. I mean, I'm going to take this from you, Uncle, and I mean, we got to take this guy out back like Old Yeller. That shit could have cost her the fight. I was not thrilled on that. But, you know, to have I have more the mentality where, you know, if someone's on their back and they're just holding them there, don't stand them up. I'm not mad at the top fighter for controlling the fight. I'm mad at the bottom fighter who clearly needs to do some work on their back and just being able to get to their feet. But ultimately, I mean, good performance from Eileen Perez. I mean, 6 in a row. On a tear. I do like her call out in Tracy Cortez. I'm sure the fans do as well, if you know what I mean. But wrong weight class as well. I think she's fighting at flyweight. But I say maybe we give her Irene Aldana, and maybe we could do a Jocelyn Edwards versus a Macy Chasson. If you got any names on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, man, and I'm glad you mentioned the bullshit ref because like there was some definite bullshit ref moments. I mean. There were some fights that got dragged down way too long. I think we already missed one of them. But I digress. Like, that stand-up was absolute garbage. Grimy said it right here, too. That was a bullshit stand-up for real.
For real.
The cameraman definitely knows his job. He did great at his job. I had some money on Eileen. After the first round, I had to shake the turds out of my pants. Fair. It was dicey stuff. Like, again, you're saying the takedown, like, he stood them up, right? Again, if they're not landing anything, yes, you do that. 33% of her total number of strikes was landed on the ground. So that means of 68 strikes, she landed 22.4, or basically 22 or 23 of them, while grounded. How are you going to stand her up, bro? She's active as fuck. Like, she didn't have a ton of control time. She had 7 minutes. So, that's a pretty decent clip. And again, 27-8 on significant strikes. It was fairly dominant performance. If you go through it by the rounds, Eileen Perez outlanded Macy Chasson even in the first round, 6-4 on significant strikes. In round 3, it was a lot bigger differential there. We're talking 13-1, literally. And then round 3, it was 8-3, so almost a 3-1 clip there. Like, it was just nasty, bro. It was nasty work. For obvious reasons, I would love to see her get the matchup that she called for against Tracy Cortez, you know. But I do like Rob Rex's pick a lot better here. Perez versus Erin Blanchfield makes a lot of sense, bro. Keep moving this chick up the rankings. She has potential, man. She has a lot of potential, and the best thing about her, or the scariest thing about her, is the rate at which she improves every time she makes that walk out into the octagon. So, yeah, big fan. UFC 6 EA, if you're listening, add that celebration in to the game for EA 6. You know what I'm saying? And with that, we move into the men's bantamweight. Same weight, different sex. Christian Quinones and Chris Moutinho. I was wrong. You know, it was a close enough fight, though. 32-54 on total strikes, 28-38 on significant strikes. We're talking about a 10-strike differential here. And homie had to spam takedowns. Not once, not twice, but 10 fucking times. Okay? Did he land 70% of those? Yeah, we're going to ignore that, though. It's fine. I thought Chris, he looked like Chris, you know, and it's tough because, you know, both of them are technically a Chris, I guess, but I'm talking about the Moutinho one. Christian Quinones looked good out there. He did. I would say he weathered the storm, but there really wasn't much of a storm coming his way. It was more of a light drizzle. But you know what? He brought a raincoat for the drizzle, and he survived it quite nice. It was impressive. I got that one wrong. Look, I needed dogs this week for the dog competition. It was slim fucking pickings. And if I would have known how the main event would have went and that King Green fight, boy, would I be much happier. But I didn't. All right. Every now and then we all shit the bed. Not literally, figuratively, hopefully. But if you do, you know what? No judgment. We love you guys. Pip, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like we're starting off on a completely different topics there, because I was going to say it's a very dominant performance, I thought, from Christian Quinones, but I knew where you were going with that. No, but I mean, credit to Chris as well for, eating all those shots. I mean, Christian had a very wide stance, just in and out, popped him with some really nice jabs as well, busted his nose up bad, and mixed it up really well in the second round, but just, grindy slams. When Chris got back up, he would just drag him back down, started looking for the choke, and then Chris was defending, so he landed some sneaky shots to an already busted up nose. Quinones just kind of stayed on the bicycle, never really got tired, had the range figured out, and just kind of styled on Chris Matino, really. Then he kind of just completely mixed his game plans from round 1 and 2 into the third. Overall, it was just, a very impressive performance, complete utilization of MMA. So I don't really know if I see the UFC keeping Chris after this. Unless his next fight is Elijah Smith or something like that. This was one of the most favorable matchups for him, and he didn't really look, he looked not amazing. I'll say that to be nice. I could maybe see a Christian Quinones, maybe a Cody Gibson, or maybe even a Miles John. I think it could both be good step ups for Christian Quinones.
I actually like all of those names. Those are really good names. I like a name that somebody mentioned earlier for him. I wouldn't mind him seeing the octagon with Ricky Simone, or even Jonathan the Dragon Martinez. I think it'd be a fun one. But a little bit of a step up for him.
Yeah, it's a big step up, but probably a banger either way.
I just think stylistically those guys match up really well against each other. And if we want to go a little bit further down, the third name I had written down is Adrian Yanez. He's always a fun time.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw, I don't think the guy knows how to put on a boring performance, right? Chris gets styled on. That's his job in the UFC. You know what? Fair play. Quinones versus Felipe Lima. Ooh.
Not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that at all. I have a feeling Perez I would run through Cortez. Oh, yeah, Perez would run through Cortez. 100%. Davey Grant was another name that I looked at but didn't write down. I think that would be a banger as well.
Davey Grant would be a fun
someone
one.
who's allergic to boring fights. With that being said, speaking of being allergic to a boring fight, let's talk about one that ended in a little less than a round, just 1 second less. We're talking about a featherweight bout between Javier Reyes and Douglas Silva de Andrade. It ended via punches from back mount. It was nasty work, right? It was a stoppage that was maybe, upsetting to some, but Javier Reyes looked good, man. At 4 minutes and 59 seconds of round number 1, Silva de Andrade started throwing leg kicks, and Reyes capitalized on a scramble, took the back, hooks in, and just started raining down grounded punches. He got the stoppage. It was a solid transition. I thought he looked good out there, and leading up to it, it's not like it was close. It's not like he turned this fight around. 87-19 total strikes landed, 46-17 significant strikes landed, and Javier Reyes was the only man that attempted takedowns, and he went at a 50% clip, landing 1 of 2. So I thought it was a great performance for him in there against a wily veteran like Silva de Andrade, and he looked really good doing it, man. As far as what's next for him, we haven't seen Juicy J, Julian Erosa in there in a while. I think that'd be a fun matchup. Maybe even Fernando Padilla, a little Mexican pride on the line there. I don't know. What do you think, Pip?
Yeah, this was just an impressive debut from Javier Reyes. Just smashed his way to that TKO while Silva was on his belly. Reyes just had him flattened out and just kept landing those shots. Completely turned around from what we did see earlier, though. Andrade, right from the get, was landing some nasty overhand rights and some good check hook earlys. Rocked Reyes bad multiple times, but then, he just turned it on him. You would see him rush in, lean out of range. Chin was up in the air. Hands were out in the face of Reyes, but once Reyes got that read, he caught him backing up with a right hand and completely turned the momentum around in that fight. Silva was grabbing the legs to, hide his head. Reyes had good control. I mean, good flow as well. I mean, the takedown switch-ups were just really nice. Took the back of Reyes, just hammered away. Silva wasn't intelligently defending, so I definitely don't think it was a late or a bad stoppage or whatever. But Herb saw enough. Reyes just smashed his way to that TKO. I have two areas for Silva de Andrade. I mean, I think I would prefer to see him back down at bantamweight. We definitely saw a huge height difference there. He just looked very small, so I think he needs to go back down. But taking a name earlier, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him in there with a Felipe Lima. If he stays at featherweight, maybe even a Darren Elkins, I think would be a fun fight for him. But I mean, I have to respect Silva de Andrade. I mean, he's been in the game for a minute, so I feel like I gotta talk about what's next for him as well. But I mean, for Javier Reyes, I mean, I wouldn't even mind to see him in there with a Hyde or a Emil. I think that could be a really fun fight.
Hyde would be a great fight. Reyes versus Malcolm Wellmaker. That's wild.
I guess Wellmaker's coming off the loss now.
I guess. Beggars can't be choosers when you just were recently a loser, I guess. That's tough. Yeah, I mean, why not? Fuck it. After that, before that, we had a catchweight bout between Regina Tarin and Ernesta Caraquete. And man, Pip, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. This one was a fun women's fight.
Yes, it was.
Very fun fight.
Yes, it was. And we don't usually get to say that very often. But first of all, I mean, I don't know how you let me get in the way with picking someone who is fighting a girl with the nickname of Kill Bill. That's her nickname. Like, that's like the second best Quentin Tarantino film of all time. But you didn't mention that in your breakdown, so, whatever. No, but I mean, fun fight between these two girls. Like I said, don't get to say that very often. I mean, Regina had a lot of success blitzing in, landed combinations in the pocket, decent head movement as well. She was able to kind of just throw, slip, throw, and then back out. Regina had some good elbows and knees in the clinch as well. One thing I will mention, I thought she was a little square. If she could work on kind of rotating her hips, when she would throw, I think she could have landed some more damaging shots. And she was a bit hittable at range. I mean, she saw the straight punches, but as soon as they started, looping or turning into hooks or the kicks, those would start to get through. I mean, her hands would be down, or she's just kind of backing up or moving forward, not so much, movement, side to side. But with that being said, I mean, the fight was on 3 days' notice. She's only 21 years old. This was her debut, fighting at elevation. She had a lot of things that were technically against her. But, I mean, she has a lot of potential and a lot of improvement that she's going to be able to make. I mean, Ernesta had some success with her kicks, landed some good body kicks. Even caught Regina, up high a few times. Some good looping shots as well, like I mentioned earlier. But Ernesta could also, I mean, when she would land, she was setting her kicks up with the punches, or vice versa, setting the punches up with the kicks. And she needed more of that. It was fairly competitive, but yeah, Regina was able to edge it out. I'm looking forward to seeing what Regina's going to do next in there.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing what she can do with a full fight camp, because make no mistake about it, she looked really good. She's one of the few, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but not just female MMA fighters, but MMA fighters in general don't really understand how to utilize or leverage the jab that well. And she did it in spades throughout that fight, like really setting everything up with the jab. You said it well, like setting up kicks, and she really finished a lot of her combos with kicks as well, which I liked. Going to the leg, going to the body, even going up top to the head sometimes. You could tell that she took this fight on short notice. She looked a little bit different at the fight than she did a few days before for the photo shoot and such. But I genuinely think you give this chick a full camp, she's a problem for a lot of these women's flyweights. So as far as what's next for her, I mean, there's a number of different things you could do, right? It just really depends how fast you want to throw her in there. You got somebody like a Juliana Killer Miller who's coming off of a loss. That's a fun name you could throw in there. But again, she's right below Caraquete. So I'd like to see her get pole vaulted a little bit. Boost her up there. Give her a Jamie Lynn Horth. Do we think that she's good enough for a Crispy Carly Judice?
That would be more of a Striker's Delight fight right there. I think that would be
her.
fun. Yeah, I mean, even going up, I mean, I had two names for her. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at a JoJo Wood or maybe even a Lerone Murphy. If she's ready for that, but I think all those would be great matchups. Oh, Judice would be a really fun one.
The Judice one's at the top of my list. I just think that one makes the most sense. Both of these girls are young, they're fiery as hell, and they both have great striking to put on display. And who doesn't love a good striker's delight, as you said? In the next one, hey guys, I said that it would probably be an early finish in this one, that Eric Silva was coming off of a leg. injury and a 2-year layoff. And Francis the Fire Marshal was coming with a firing squad lit inside of him, apparently. I mean, like 2 minutes and 29 seconds. This one was very quick, bro. Like, he made it look easy. It was nice. And, you know, like, what's not to love? What's not to love? Francis the Fire Marshal went out there, did it, made quick work of Eric Silva, rear naked choke, just instantly took the back when he had the opportunity and sliced through the guard like a hot knife through butter. I'll leave some meat on the bone because there's not a whole lot on this fight to dissect. Pip, what were your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, on the last show, I said Francis Marshall by rear naked choke. I'm just saying. I just got to put that out there. But
you did say it. I think. Did you even say round 2?
I think I sounded round 2. Yeah, but this ended in the first round. So that was the only thing I got wrong.
First round? Oh, it was first round. I thought it was round 2. It was 2 minutes.
Yep. I'd have been so close.
Damn.
Yeah. You know, that's what I meant. I said round 2, and I had to. Yeah. I meant to say 2 minutes. My bad.
Minute
everybody.
2. That's what he meant to say, guys. Come on.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, fantastic choke ending in the first round. And damn, man, I'm just happy to see Francis back in the win column. And it was a great fight for how long it lasted. I mean, these guys really didn't waste any time. I mean, 3 seconds from the start of the round, Silva was already throwing those wheel kicks, landed a couple of them. And then Francis just got a textbook double leg, had him on the ground. Silva was looking for the ghillie, and Marshall just passed right over his guard. Had heavy pressure and side control. Was looking for that arm triangle, and Silva just gave up the back, and that was it. I mean, he looked for the choke, readjusted, and just looked really good. I knew Francis was due for a choke, and just once he snatched it up, it was over. I mean, he was strong, composed. I mean, I feel like his record is worse than the actual fighter that he is. Just a very impressive performance from Francis. And I mean, if I'm going for what's next for Francis, I mean, I would absolutely love a fight with Billy Q. I think that would be a really fun matchup.
Billy the Squid. I love that. I actually love that. I was thinking. So I'll go in order from like bottom to top. Lowest on my pecking order is Austin Bashi. We haven't seen him in there in a minute. He's coming off a loss. Talented grappler. I think that'd be a fun bout. Fernando Padilla El Valiente, I think would be a very fun one. And then at the very top of my list is just a few rankings on Tapology's rankings list above your Billy Q pick. Christian C-Rod Rodriguez. I think those would be good shouts.
Yeah, Christian Rodriguez would be fun.
Oh, Fernando Padilla. There you go, brother.
There we go.
We're on the same boat with that one. I like that. I like that a lot. And with that, let's move into the last fight that we'll talk about today, folks. It's a middleweight bout between Damian Pinas and Wes Schultz. I had a real rough time with this one last week, guys. But I knew that Pinas was going to be explosive. Yeah, I knew that Pinas was going to come hard in there. And I knew that Pinas was going to finish first and finish fast. And you know what? It's kind of what happened. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is all it took Pinas to get it done. Just very explosive with his movements. 22 strikes to 5 in total strikes. 15 to 3 on significant strikes. And Pinas was done. That's all she wrote. With such an explosive finish, I would like to see him fight somebody else that's explosive. I would like to see Pinas in there with Gregory Rodriguez.
You want to see him in there with RoboCop? I'm not mad at it. It's
a bit of a far jump, but I think it's a very fun name. Outside of that, like a more realistic name, we can give him Andre Petrosky. It's less fun. Like you see your reaction to one versus the other.
That's true.
One is ridiculous and not going to happen. The other one is probably going to happen.
I seen a big bright light when you said RoboCop. I said,
that's what I'm saying, bro. You're like, does RoboCop even have Penas?
$5 million man right there.
I'll see myself out. Pip, what were your thoughts on this Pinas performance?
Yeah. I mean, it's a very impressive finish, like you alluded to, from the Baba Yaga. That's what I like calling him. I mean, he dropped him 3 times.
That's what we should both call him.
Yeah, the Baba Yaga. I like that. I like that a little bit more. It sounds a little bit more scarier too, a little bit more intimidating than penis. Pinas. Sorry.
You're a brave man.
Takedown defense held up well. We saw West shoot from the first leg kick, and I mean, it did not go well. Damian reversed the position, landed some nasty elbows. Was able to get back up, do his thing. Definitely a clear advantage in the striking. As I mentioned in the breakdown as well, I mean, West would throw some unconventional moves. I mean, just kind of some spinning attacks with really no setup, just kind of throwing random shots. And we saw that as well with the second leg kick that landed. I mean, he ended up spinning around, kind of pushing off the fence to throw a side kick. I mean, he did that kind of stuff a few times. I mean, just spinning attacks with no setup at all. Damian had some really good scrambles as well on the ground. I mean, he had some nasty uppercuts, some sharp 1-2s down the middle. I mean, even the shots didn't really land like 100% flush. I mean, some of them were glancing shots or just kind of off the guard. But I mean, the power that this guy carries is a real problem. All around, I mean, it was a great performance from the Baba Yaga. I mean, didn't waste any time in there. Another guy that I think we need to keep our eye on as well. But compared to the RoboCop, I think this is a guy that I want to see these guys kind of come in and build up a little bit more slow. So I wouldn't mind like a Dustin Stoltzfus. I think it'd be a decent test, not a crazy step up in competition, or maybe even a guy like a Ryan Loder. And if we're keeping Wes around,
you're not doing Ryan Loder any favors, bro.
No, I am not. But
what
some
a
more
mean
tests.
Man you are, Pip.
Yeah. Build the name up a little bit. I like the Baba Yaga. I want to see him. I want to see him do more explosive piñas things. So I mean, if I'm matchmaking for Wes. I mean, give him GM3. I kind of want to see GM3 back in the win.
You want to see these guys come, and Penis is your guy.
I like that, Lethal.
One thing you know about Penis, he's always going to come forward. He's always going to come hard. Penis versus Ateba, but it won't happen. No, dude, I say this, I feel like every other show when we do the What's Next, you don't get 2 new shiny toys and just smash them into each other. You're going to break one. And then what do you got? You got 1 shiny new toy, and that sucks. You want to be able to be like, hey, look at my shiny toys. I have the most. That's Dana White. Literally, that's what he does in MMA. And now he's doing it in boxing. He's like, look who we got. We got Conor Ben. Woohoo. Cha-ching. Yeah, dude. I feel like those are really good names, bro. Those are really good names. And before we call it a show, right, I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't, at least for just a moment, talk about the grappling match between Arman Sarukian and Gregory Poulas, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
I mean, Gregory slapped him a handful of times. He also tried to poke him in the eye.
Yeah, I went for a handful of stupid shit.
He was doing a lot of dumb stuff. And Arman was like, you gonna call this? And they didn't call it. So then Arman power slapped him. And they called that. They fouled him, but he still won 5-3 on grappling rule set. And then the second the match ended, he got top position, full mount, and just boom! Blasted him with one to remember him by. Gregory, of course, goes into instant influencer mode, and then the next thing he posts is a video of him in a neck brace in the back of an ambulance saying they need to do the rematch.
I didn't see that he called out for the rematch.
like, brother, what are we doing here? You want a rematch? You want to sue him? Like, what? Come on. You baited him. Like they had, I don't know if you know, if you watched with the commentary, but they had Ben Askren on the commentary team, kind of pseudo, right? He was basically their Dean Thomas. They'd call him in like, hey, let's go to Ben Askren on the corner and see what he has to say. And Ben literally said, I think like round 1 or 2 of the fight, he's like, yeah, I mean, this Gregory guy is not a really good grappler. If you look at his record, he's not that great. And it seems like he's not going to win this match unless he's able to piss off Arman enough to get him to DQ. And that's exactly what he was trying to do. Arman waited till the moment they sounded the horn. He's all, boom! I beat your ass, and then I beat your ass. Pip, what were your thoughts on everything that played out?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I kind of add on that, I mean, Gregory was kind of going around and just kind of flaunting that he's never been taken down as well. And he got taken down by 2 different people in that match. He got taken down by Arman, and then as well by Arman's coach. So, I mean, both these guys might be some of the best grapplers we've got on earth. But, kind of some dirty tactics to really kind of just,
Also, he owes them both $1,000 because that's his whole shtick.
Okay, yeah.
Take me down, I'll give you $1,000.
You got to pay up. You got to pay up. Hope you're not like Sterling, but you got to pay up. Anyway, I digress. But I mean, no, yeah. Talked to did a lot of scummy things with the smacks, going for the eye poke and whatnot. Arman tried to testify, quite a few times, and even when it was the points on 5-3, I thought Arman kind of got cheated of some points as well. Like I thought Arman was supposed to have a little bit more of a lead going to that. But yeah, ultimately, I mean, even some of the commentators were kind of talking shit like, oh, why does this guy get mad that he's getting smacked around? He's an MMA fighter. We're like, this is a grappling match. And you know what? I kind of want to see it become an MMA match now because that was completely justified.
Or at least combat jiu-jitsu. Like, put them in combat jiu-jitsu where they can slap the fuck out of each other while they're grappling.
Do seatbelt jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, there you go. Why not? Let him choke him out with a fucking seatbelt. That'd be great.
But
sign me up for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, end of the day, yeah, I mean, let's make it an MMA fight. I don't know why Gregory's bitching as much as he is. It was completely justified. So I'm Team Arman all the way on this one.
I beat you at your sport, now fight me in mine.
Yeah.
Grimey said, good to see Ben not dead, TBH, and I never was a fan. I was always a huge fan of Ben, to be honest. I always thought he was great. I just thought he made it to the UFC way too late because he needed a hip. But yeah, happy to see him doing so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Rob Rex says, as much as I'm with Arman with the situation, I just think he should have stayed out of all that drama. There's going to be some type of backfire because he already got in trouble losing his temper. I really want to see Arman fight for the belt, LOL, but he's closer to going to jail than he is for getting a title shot. You're right. You're right. First, he had the punch in the face to the fan. Then he had the headbutt with Dan Hooker. Mm-hmm. And then he had this. Like, brother, like, you are a pro fighter. You are known for fighting people professionally, not in the streets. I don't care how rich you are outside of this, how much you don't need the money and you do this for fun and for legacy, as he says often. Like, you got to think before you act, bro. And 3 assaults in a 24-month time span is pretty wild and reckless for a grown-ass man.
2 of them were kind of uncalled for. This last one, I kind of see Dana White just kind of, shrugging it off. Just, this dude was kind of being an asshole. Like, I get it. I get it.
I hope that's Dana's response to it because let me tell you, like, I'm with you. I think it was fully justified. I think if I was in Arman's shoes, I probably would have gotten DQ'd. I probably would have done it a lot sooner than he did. So hats off to him for controlling himself as long as he did. He got smacked in the face like 6-7 times. 6-7. For my little sister, she'll cry.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either. I think it means like this or that, but yeah. Basically, you can smack in the face an awful lot, and if you do that to me, brother, I'm smacking back real quick. Especially, and like they weren't deducting points when he was doing it, but when Arman would do it back, they deduct points. It was just a weird situation.
Yeah, they did have a problem. They did have a problem, yeah, when Arman would go do something, like even when he smacked him or whatever. And I'm like, bro, he's been doing that the whole time. Like, I don't.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like when he does it, it's a collar tie. When I do it, I'm slapping him. How do we differentiate here, guys? Can I get something here? Dano slaps his own wife harder than Arman slapped that guy. That's a fact, actually. We got video evidence of it. That's grimy. I love you, dude. Never change, bro. Oh, that's incredible.
It's always good having Grimy in the chat. That is for sure.
It's always good having Grimy in the chat. WMC, S-Dogs Raid. What's up, man? You caught us at the tail end of the show. But hey, hit the replay. Leave us a comment. Let us know if any of your bets cashed. Spoiler alert. Mine didn't. But that's okay. We come back next week. We hit the payment again, as they say. So with that, folks, them's the fights. That's it. We've already gone through top to bottom, left to right, front to back. And, man, I hope you guys did better than we did this week. And if you didn't, that's okay too. If you didn't even make picks this week, that's fine too. As long as you do the next 2 things, if nothing else. We ask that you keep on going and you keep on growing, and we really hope we see you back for the prediction show.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.